S2000 that I track. And it had a standard style clutch on it. It wasn't doing very good. It hasn't even lasted a year. So I'm upgrading to an OS Giken STR. When I first built the car, I had upgraded to a bit of a more aggressive clutch that would hopefully take more abuse at the track. Since then, I've damaged the pressure plate. This is a pole style, just like the OE is. It uses the stock clutch fork, OE throwout bearing, and the pressure plate is broken. You see it? The throwout bearing has also been kind of pulled apart right here. You can see that there's a gap there where there shouldn't be, and that's probably from the style of clutch that it is. This clutch does have an upgraded friction material and an upgraded billet aluminum flywheel. So according to OS Giken, the heat and abuse from track use doesn't work with this style of pressure plate. So this is the OS Giken clutch. So this is a completely different kind of design of clutch entirely. This pressure plate specifically is a push style instead of the pull style like the OE was, which means that you have to convert it from puller to pusher, which requires an articulation kit to adjust it from one to the next. This kit comes with an articulation correction kit, which converts it to a pusher. The factory style pulls every time you push the clutch pedal down. This complicated set of linkage does is instead uses the factory mount and turns it into a push style. So when you push the clutch pedal down, it pushes the clutch down. This particular model that I chose has a twin disc, which opening it up, you can see that it has a floater plate, a clutch disc, and they're numbered so you know where the orientation is, another floater plate, and another clutch disc, all inside of the flywheel. The benefit to this clutch specifically is that they can deal with heat better, they can deal with more power, they can deal with more abuse, and from what I've heard, they are very reliable and serviceable. So let's get installed and see how it works out. I've heard that these things, since they're floating, have a ringing sound, and I'm excited to hear what that sounds like. The instructions do say that depending on the bolt length, these flywheels are a little bit thinner, so it might bottom out against the crankshaft. Mine did, so I had to cut the tip just a little bit so that it'll fit. They give you the formula in order to figure out how much you need to take off, so you just gotta measure it and figure it out. And now we have to torque the bolts to 94 foot-pounds. And now we'll clean it up and get all these oils off of here with a little bit of brake clean. As we stack into the flywheel, we want to make sure that the numbers are facing us. And I also added some white marks on the floater plates that I match up with the flywheel mark that I made just out of the factory. They say that it's not necessary, but you can never be too sure.
Right there.
And then use the alignment tool. Now install the pressure plate and try not to have all these little bolts fly off while you do it. So now before you snug all of these down all the way, you want them to be a little bit loose to make sure that you're able to still move this around and be able to pull it out. As you are snugging them down, you're gonna wanna make sure that this stays pretty loose to make sure that when it comes time to put the transmission in, it goes nice and smooth. As you're tightening these, you wanna go from across to across, and you don't wanna snug them, you don't wanna get them all the way tight right away. You want to kind of do one turn. Let's start here. You wanna do one like that, like one turn of the bolt, and then come across here and do one turn. There's still more to be tightened, but I'm leaving it so that it can all kind of come together like a perfect sandwich. they're all snugged down and we're very obviously touching, it's time to tighten them all to 13 foot-pounds. Always make sure to lube your shaft and the contact points to make it easier to install. And using the OE bolts, there's a bit of blue Loctite on there. We're gonna send it home. Does that remind you of anything? So as it comes, this is already installed, but I'm gonna take this off and install it after I put the trans in the car so that I can get this hose lined up exactly where I want it to be. And after you get the transmission installed, go ahead and wiggle this slave cylinder in here. I put a little Loctite on here and mount it to the trans. Fingers are slippery. I then take the old slave cylinder off and attach the new one. There will be fluid everywhere. It's fine. And now I'm gonna have my husband help me bleed it and hope he doesn't lock me up in air jail again. All right. Wow, it's so much lighter. It's probably like half as heavy as it used to be. But it's not really rattling like I expected. There it is. Hold it. I have some finishing details left to do on the car, and then once I'm done, I'll take it for a test drive, and I'll take you with. Wow, right off the bat, the shifter is going into gear so much easier. It has never felt like that. Even with the brand new clutch that I had in it before, it's never felt that good. The bite point is really, really close. It's a really short bite point. Incredible. Whoa, I almost stalled it there. Yeah, it's pretty close to the bottom of the pedal, so it can kind of catch you off guard. I'm not going to drive it too aggressive right now. There is a break-in period. I'm not sure what it was. The manual didn't specify what the break-in period was. It just said that there is one. So I'll do a little bit more research and see how much break-in I need to do on it, how many miles I need to put on it before I can take it to the track this weekend and fully test it out. Let's do some heel toe. Yeah, that feels nice. That genuinely feels wonderful. Also, don't mind my squeaky top. We don't talk about that. You can't hear the squeaking when you're on the track, revving it up at 9,000 RPM with a helmet on, so I just let it be. So based on my initial impressions, I am very happy with it. The transmission seems to be even shifting smoother, and the engagement point is just so good. It's so crisp.